This is LG Lucid 2 VS870 screen repair guide brought to you by Repair's Universe. To perform this repair, we're going to want to use a safe open pry tool, a small Phillips screwdriver, and for touchscreen repairs, we're going to want to use fresh adhesive. To begin, we're going to remove the back battery cover, the battery, the SIM card, and the memory card. Once that's done, we're going to use a small Phillips screwdriver, and we're going to remove the 10 small Phillips screws located in the diagram to the left. All of these 10 screws will be the same size, so you don't have to worry about mixing them up. Once they've all been removed, we're just going to use our safe open pry tool and just pry along the seam right here and remove the back housing from the rest of the device. Just going to work your way around the sides and the bottom here. Just beginning to release some of the clips. There we go. Once the back housing is removed, we can then work on removing the motherboard. To do this, we're going to remove 8 connections located on the motherboard. All these will either be pop connectors or antenna connections. So just going to start by removing all of these. Just use your safe open pry tool and gently lift up. This will just release it, and then make sure to remove them away. So now we can just gently lift up the motherboard and remove it from the device. There we go. With the motherboard now removed, we're just going to use our safe open pry tool and gently lift up the camera here. It's just going to be held in place with a little bit of adhesive. It just seems a little bit easier to remove once you remove the motherboard. Now we're just going to focus on this headphone jack. Just use your safe open pry tool and gently lift up. It will be held in place with a little bit of adhesive as well. Be sure not to rip that flex cable though. And there we go. From here, we're now going to focus on this bottom flex cable. It's just going to be held in place with adhesive, so just use your safe open pry tool and gently lift up, releasing the adhesive. We're just going to release that bottom antenna right there. And then completely remove the flex cable from the device. This flex cable here will include the charge port as well as both antennas. Just gently lift that up and remove it from the device. Now working from the sides again, we're just going to remove the midframe. This will be the backing of the LCD screen, so we're just going to want to use our safe open pry tool and then gently just pry in this seam here. This will release some of the clips. You'll see where the actual midframe stops and the front housing begins. Just get your safe open pry tool in there and gently lift up. Just release those clips. You're going to want to be careful of these button housings right here, both these silver parts, as the buttons normally will fall out. So we're just going to lift those up and release the little clips. Just put those to the side until reassembly. Removing these makes it much easier to get at all the clips for this midframe. As you can see, it does take some time, but be patient as you don't want to damage that LCD screen. There we go with the other button. Just want to make sure that the LCD screen actually stays with the midframe and does not try to stay with the front housing. So that when we separate it here, we'll have two separate parts. There we go. So we have the front housing on the left and the LCD assembly on the right. The LCD screen is now just held in place by the main flex cable here, which just has adhesive holding it in place. To remove it, we'll just need to release all this adhesive and then remove this ear speaker, which is located right here. Once we have that ear speaker removed, we need to slide it through the slot in the housing. And if you need to replace your LCD screen, you can then replace it. To remove the touchscreen, we're just going to move aside the LCD screen and the midframe. And we're going to use a heat gun or a hair dryer to begin warming some of the adhesive. You're just going to want to use a medium setting, about 2 to 3 inches away. We're going to want to keep constant movement around the outside edges. This will warm the adhesive and make it much easier to release it from the front housing. Normally this process takes about 45 seconds. However, you want to make sure not to overheat or melt any of the plastic on the front housing. It's always better to heat multiple times if the adhesive starts to get cold rather than overheating and melting anything. As you can see, the front housing is quite malleable though, so getting our pry tool underneath seems quite easy. Just going to want to slide it along all 4 edges, just releasing all that adhesive. And just get at the top here and release the final adhesive. With the last of the adhesive released, we can then remove the touchscreen digitizer from the front housing. You want to be careful though, as that little grommet right there was for the front camera and sensor. I'll make sure to put that back in the front housing before reassembling. And you can now replace your touchscreen digitizer. Be sure to check out repairsuniverse.com for all your Lucid 2 screen replacements and repair tools. Also be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this video, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for watching.